She is serving 15 whole-life prison terms for the murder of 7 infants. Right now, the British legal system considers Lucy Letby the most prolific child killer in the nation's modern history. For the courts, the verdict is absolute. She is incarcerated at Bronzefield Prison, and the judge's mandate is clear: she will never be released. Then, in early 2025, a group of the world's leading neonatal experts independently reviewed the exact same medical records used in the trial. They reached a starkly different conclusion. According to this panel, there is zero medical evidence of murder. This creates a unique crisis. The initial conviction was secured without direct forensic proof or a confession, relying almost entirely on expert interpretation of circumstantial data. Now, the scientific community is challenging the very science that put her behind bars. The original investigations started at a busy neonatal unit in northwest England. Between June 2015 and June 2016, the Countess of Chester Hospital experienced a string of sudden, unexplained medical crises on the ward, leading to multiple infant deaths. Hospital staff couldn't explain the medical anomalies, but they noticed a pattern in the scheduling. A young nurse, known for frequently volunteering for extra shifts, was the only staff member present on the ward during every single incident. This visual highlights that schedule matrix. You can see how the timing of the medical collapses perfectly mapped on to Lucy Letby's shifts. Long before any clinical proof of harm was established, this overlap became the primary driver of suspicion, leading to her arrest in 2018. To a jury, a perfect overlap like that feels incredibly compelling. However, relying on a statistical anomaly to prove intentional harm without underlying physical evidence to support it carries significant risk. Correlation does not automatically equal causation. To secure a conviction, the prosecution had to move beyond the shift pattern and establish a clinical mechanism for murder. Without a confession or direct forensic proof, they turned to expert medical witnesses, led by a retired pediatrician named Dr. Davy Evans. Dr. Evans presented a specific theory to the court. He argued that the infants didn't collapse from natural causes, but because someone deliberately injected air into their bloodstreams, creating fatal circulatory blockages known as air embolisms. To substantiate this, the prosecution leaned heavily on established literature, specifically pointing to a highly regarded 1989 medical research paper detailing the physiological effects of air embolisms. The jury didn't see a crime occur. They convicted Letby based on their trust that the prosecution and its experts had accurately interpreted highly complex technical biology. That scientific consensus broke down in February 2025. A Canadian neonatologist named Dr. Shu Lee convened a panel of 14 international specialists in London, seen here reviewing the exact records of the 17 babies involved in the trial. The expert seated in the center is Dr. Lee. He is the actual author of the 1989 air embolism study the prosecution used to help convince the jury of Letby's guilt. Dr. Lee stepped forward to state clearly that his original life's work was misapplied by the expert witnesses during the trial. After their exhaustive review, the panel announced their findings. The infant deaths and collapses could be entirely explained by natural causes or inadequate hospital care. They found no medical evidence supporting deliberate harm in any of the cases. The entire conviction rests on that scientific interpretation. When the creator of the foundational research argues the court got the science wrong, the legal argument loses its main load-bearing support. This medical disagreement has triggered serious legal friction. Letby's defense team has submitted over 1,000 pages of this new expert analysis to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, asking the independent body to push the case to the Court of Appeal. Meanwhile, the prosecution's lead medical witness, Dr. Davy Evans, refuses to yield. He firmly stands behind his original trial testimony, directly opposing the conclusions of the international panel. The friction is now visible within the state apparatus itself. In January 2026, prosecutors announced they would not pursue further charges against Letby for additional infant deaths. In a rare public fracture, the local Cheshire police openly disagreed with that decision. This exposes a structural flaw in how we handle highly technical trials. The legal system demands a permanent binary verdict of guilty or innocent, but the scientific method requires continuous peer review and debate. In this case, those two processes are colliding. Despite the growing scientific debate and separate public inquiries into the hospital's operations, the legal reality remains static. Letby is still serving her 15 whole-life terms, and officials warn the review process could take years. While lawyers and doctors debate the evidence, 17 families are left waiting for a final, undisputed answer regarding the loss of their children at the Countess of Chester Hospital. These parents endured an exhausting, highly publicized trial, seeking closure. Now they are caught in the middle of an international tug-of-war over the exact medical reasons their babies died. Society owes those families absolute certainty. Whether this goes down in history as a secure conviction or a failure of the justice system, the final answer must be the right one. And right now, the only sure thing is that this story is far from over.